Hey, good Sunday morning, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm. I'm back in town after a trip to Raleigh for the American Meteorological Society annual conference on broadcast meteorology last week. Met all sorts of great people and learned a lot of great things. But I'll tell you, air travel is just the worst. I had a horrible trip back from Raleigh because of the weather, partially. But anyway, back in town, and we've got a very busy, active weather pattern out in front of us here over the next several days. Let's get right to the details. And one of the reasons, of course, I'm doing this video today is that we do have a threat for severe weather again today as we get into the afternoon. Not this morning. This morning's just fine. Here's the radar at about 8:45 a.m. All is quiet locally. A little thunder shower out here in parts of north central Ohio, cruising towards the southern suburbs of Cleveland. Actually, not much lightning recently with that. So this morning is just fine. It's warm and it's humid outside. Temperatures look like this here in the 8 o'clock hour. We're in the lower 70s. And dew points. We're talking a lot about dew points lately. They're way up there, upper 60s, lower 70s. It's one of those situations where you're emptying your dehumidifier often if you're running one with this type of moisture in the air. So we've got warmth, we've got humidity. Now what do we need for severe weather? We need kind of a trigger, some sort of mechanism to get the atmosphere stirred up and get those air parcels rising. And one of the things that's going on today is here's the upper level pattern. We have a ridge of high pressure down here over the southeastern U.S., over Georgia and South Carolina. And on the northern fringes of that ridge, these little disturbances, go along this ridge, and it's kind of like throwing a stone on a pond. Those little ripples can have some impacts for us as they move across our pond, if you will. They will sometimes just be enough to cause the atmosphere to be pretty unstable, to lift the air and cause showers and storms. And I think that'll happen today as we get into the afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center does have the region under what is called the slight risk for severe weather. Slight not being something you should not take seriously just because the word slight is involved. Basically, it's an elevated risk, if you will, compared to an average day. An elevated risk for severe weather. That includes all of northern Ohio and into western parts of Pennsylvania as well. As far as the timing on showers and storms today, let's get right to that. Let me back things up here to midday. I think as we, let's look at the most recent version of our short range model here. As we get into midday, this is probably overdone on the model here. This model oftentimes overdoes things a little bit on the simulated radar. But here at, this would be at 11 a.m. There could be a shower around, outside chance of a thunderstorm, but I doubt it looks as widespread as it does here on the model. Then by 1 o'clock, still that threat for a shower or a thunderstorm, but I really don't think the window for severe weather opens up until roughly mid-afternoon. We'll try to get some sunshine in. That'll help to get those air parcels rising, make the atmosphere that is more unstable. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, you notice, it's not super active, but there could be some spotty activity around. And then what the short-range models are doing here is kind of honing in on the early evening hours as the most active period. Here's 6 o'clock this evening. That looks like a pretty mean-looking squall line of showers and thunderstorms. Could be some embedded supercell thunderstorms somewhere in here. A supercell thunderstorm oftentimes is not part of a line, but it's kind of by itself or somewhat separate from a line. And there could be some embedded storms that try to separate a little bit and become supercells here in western and northern Ohio at 6 p.m. At 7 o'clock, this is shown to be approaching from the north and the west. Now, this is the latest high-resolution rapid refresh model. Not all models are in total agreement as far as the timing of things. Notice the latest NAM does not have that big beefy line at 7 p.m. Like the rapid refresh does. So, it's some interesting challenges as far as the modeling goes here. But I think overall, roughly 2 to 3 p.m. to about 7, 8 p.m. is kind of our window. I've been talking about instability, throwing around some meteorological terms at you here. The instability is going to be high this afternoon. Here's a look at the CAPE values, convective available potential energy. We're talking 1,000, 1,500 joules of CAPE perhaps, and for you non-weather geeks out there, that's pretty high. That's a fair amount of instability. There could even be enough wind shear in the atmosphere today to produce a couple of isolated tornadoes. Now, anytime we throw out the T word, that certainly raises A lot of people that gets a lot of people's ears perked up. Now, what you see in the green area here is a 2% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any spot in the green area there. So low odds, but not zero odds. So it's something we can't rule out. Here's the chance of large hail. We're in the 15 to 30% zone for large hail, and damaging winds, same thing, 15 to 30% chance of damaging winds or large hail within 25 miles of any spot in this brighter yellow for the wind, and the hail is kind of this mustard yellow. So it's one of those days today where you need to stay weather aware. We're going to keep you covered, of course. I'm going to be going into the office this afternoon to help out with Candace, and we will, have you covered online, on TV as well. One thing that I haven't touched much on is the possibility of flooding. The moisture, the soil that is getting pretty wet with all of the rain that we've had lately. And while these storms will be moving along at a decent clip, anywhere where we might get training of storms moving over the same area over and over again, there could certainly be some flooding issues later today. National Weather Service, in their excessive rainfall outlook, has us in the slight chance, 5 to 10%, of some flooding problems later on today. And this is an active pattern. We could have a round of strong to severe weather again tomorrow. And check out the rainfall estimates here over the next roughly 7-8 days on the GFS model. A lot of rain getting pumped into the U.S. There's going to be a stream of moisture from the Gulf Coast tracking right up through the Ohio Valley. And so an average of 2.5, 3 inches, 3.5 inches of rain can fall over the next week as an average. That means some places could be quite a bit higher depending on where the thunderstorms form, but a good average over the next week or 8 or 9 days, 3, maybe even 4 inches worth of rain. It's going to be a wet week coming up. All right, that's long enough for this morning video. Going to keep you updated with more videos, more posts throughout the day. Be sure you're following me on Twitter. That's the best way to get weather information from me. And be sure you're following Andrew DiPaolo on Facebook and Twitter as well. Candace Monticelli will be in on TV this afternoon, but again, I'll be in providing some additional coverage as well. Have a great Sunday and stay safe, everyone.